Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. And the transfer window hasn't opened yet, but there is already a bit of madness going on. And for Manchester United, it's all about the midfield right now. We have things that are happening with Real Madrid that could impact what we do at our club. And of course, there's prices being put over the top for these players, which is a talking point and is a bit of a concern. But we'll talk about Mateus Fernandes and Elliot Anderson in this video. So we know that Edison from Atalanta is a done deal. He's on his way to the World Cup with Brazil, being called up after Wesley, the right back, got injured. So we'll get to see a bit of Edison before the preseason in the World Cup. So that is good. It is a bit of a good thing for Manchester United to have another player at the World Cup. Of course, me personally, I would have preferred him not to go so that he can get fit and ready for the preseason with United, get used to playing with his teammates, get used to Carrick's system, etc. But Brazil made a decision and the decision was made. But Mateus Fernandes, that is the next midfield target for Manchester United. And yes, Elliot Anderson is there in the background and is, of course, the number one target. But in terms of players we can get before the World Cup, Mateus Fernandes fits into that category just like Edison because Elliot Anderson is with England at the World Cup. So, Mateus Fernandes, a midfielder from West Ham, just got relegated twice in his career. The first time he had it with Wolves and Southampton and now West Ham. But West Ham have decided to be a bit weird. They first quoted him at 80 million, and that was not a fair price. He's not worth 80 million right now. He's only 21. There's still a long way to go for him in his career, and he has lots of room for development. But yes, he is a very good player. Had a very good season for West Ham, despite them getting relegated. And they decided to say that publicly 80 million is the price tag. And United responded by saying that no, we're not going to be paying that much money for him. So there is negotiations that will be taking place. But we started talks with Mateus Fernandes' camp, and it turns out that he wants to join Manchester United. But again, I mentioned Real Madrid, so we'll get to that when we get to that. But then West Ham decided, once we started talks with them for Fernandes, what did they do? They upped his price, and now apparently it's 85 million. So West Ham is playing a very weird game, and they don't have any grounds to stand on because the player wants to leave. Whether he goes to United or Real Madrid, and this is where they come in. Florentino Perez is now officially the president once again. Jose Mourinho is his manager who he brought in. They've already signed Denzel Dumfries, Ibrahim Konate, and Perez himself said that there is a player that they're going to bid for up to 150 million. Now, we're not saying it's Mateus Fernandes, but PSG was also looking at him. And now Real Madrid and Jose Mourinho also said that he sees Mateus Fernandes as his number one midfield target. Now that becomes a problem because even though he did say that he wants to join United, Real Madrid is Real Madrid. Their stadium, the pool, Jose Mourinho himself playing in the Bernabeu. These things can attract the player just as much as playing for United at Old Trafford can also attract the player. And yes, in the past we've lost to them, but most recently with the signing of Lenny Yoro, we beat Real Madrid to his signature. So even though that is what is being expected from by Real Madrid and Jose Mourinho, we are still in the running to get him. We are in talks with West Ham for him. For me personally, I think no more than 55 million, maybe 60 million at most, would be the limit we go for in terms of paying a price for Mateus Fernandes. So let's see what happens. But we do need to realize that with Real Madrid being in for a player like him, he easily can go there. And then we would have to look at the Sandro Tonali, maybe a Carlos Baliba, and those players are lower down the pecking order in terms of options for the transfer window for Manchester United and the midfield. So I do want Mateus Fernandes. He is a very good player, can come into United, can rotate with Kobe Mainu, can play next to him because of his better defensive abilities than Kobe Mainu. So there will be lots to be excited for if Manchester United can sign Mateus Fernandes. Now on to Elliot Anderson, the number one midfielder player that everybody is wanting. But it is kind of a battle between City and Manchester United. But is it? Because Manchester City, we know Fabrizio Romano has said that they still want him regardless of Pep leaving. They want to back Enzo Maresca. They're willing to pay the premium amount for him, and he is their number one midfield target, as he is ours. However, he himself, Elliot Anderson, has started following City on Instagram. It looks like he is going to City because they can pay the wages that he wants and expects. But Manchester United, again, continue to push out reports via Jamie Jackson saying that we are not completely out of it. We are still in for Elliot Anderson. We still feel that we can afford him, that we can lure him to Old Trafford. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, in another report via Ben Jacobs, it has said that he is willing to pay Elliot Anderson the wages that he wants because of him being English. Yes, that is a reason. And two, him being the best midfielder in the Premier League right now. And having him and Kobe Mainu next to each other in midfield would be perfect for Jim Ratcliffe in wanting to continually push that English British type of influence in Manchester United like we had in years gone by. So those things are all good and well, but we are waiting to see what is going to happen because they are asking quite a lot of money. Nottingham Forest said that they want to have his price beat the price that of Declan Rice when he went from West Ham to Arsenal, and you're looking at 150, maybe even more million just for a player like Elliot Anderson. And yes, he is worth it, but that type of money is crazy money. So let's see what happens. It is the World Cup. We have to wait until after that for players like Elliot Anderson in terms of where they are going to move. But the reports will come out and we'll talk about it here on Red Devils Talk. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on Mateus Fernandes and Elliot Anderson. We'll definitely talk about it more over there. Have a wonderful day further till we see each other again in the next one. Bye bye, Red Devils. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share, and subscribe.